How did your experience inform you as a parent?
I saw my father in summers, so I didn't get a lot of time with him. I kind of tried to create it from like church. They were like, God the Father. I was like, okay, maybe God is a good example of what a father is.
I'm an inquisitive person, but as a child, that was not necessarily something that was encouraged. So with my child, one of the things that I encourage is his inquisitive nature.
Having two sisters and being the middle child, it kind of really shaped me in being able to compromise. So I'm like that with my daughter.
My parents were not present enough, I think, to pour into me. So I think for me, I try to make sure that I pour into my son, almost to the point that it might even be problematic. Today we're talking about family. I was going to ask you guys, how did your experience inform you as a parent? I mean, I'm assuming all of us are parents here, right?
Yeah.
All of us are parents here. We'll talk about our personal experience in terms of growing up and in relationships and stuff like that. But as parents, once you became a parent, like, how did your experience affect how you parented? Who wants to start with that? I can go.
Okay, I'll go. It's an easy answer for me. So I grew up until my father died around sixth grade. From the time that I was pretty much old enough to walk and talk to that time in sixth grade, I saw my father in summers, so I didn't get a lot of time with him. And so my idea of fatherhood was really lacking. I think I learned it. I kind of tried to create it from like church. They were like, God the Father. I was like, okay, maybe God is a good example of what a father is. So when it came and I had my daughters, I tried to be like what I thought God would be to them, or God would be to me. You know, as patient, as understanding, as honest, and as all powerful as I could possibly be. And then, you know, like, hey, some stuff you don't get because that's life. So I think the absence of my father shaped my parenthood, and I didn't want to be like my mom. And I couldn't be like my father because I didn't see him really at work that much in different scenarios. So I really kind of had to learn it as I go. You know what I mean? And take archetypes from different places I saw in my life and then try to piece together what I thought being a good father looked like.
Okay.
Nice. I was ready to say that the learning piece, I would say that for me, I'm an inquisitive person. I am always looking, learning, researching, and so forth. But as a child, that was not necessarily something that was encouraged. It was one of those things of do as I say, not don't ask questions. So if you were told to do something, you say, but why? And kids are notorious for asking that question, but why? But not maybe, but the why part. And so versus just saying, well, because I said so, I was one of those people that was like, no, I need to know why. Why can't I use this word? You know, if I call this person a bitch, why can't I call her a bitch? But, you know, things like that. However, so with my child, one of the things that I encourage is his inquisitive nature. So anytime he asked me a question, I always answered the question. I don't care how many questions it was. He could ask me 20 questions and I will answer it each and every time. As a matter of fact, he don't even ask me questions no more. He like, nah, cause she gonna go to a history lesson or something. But he is now much older. But that's the main thing that shaped me, was that I didn't want to deny my child his creativity. I didn't want to deny him his options to learn, because the fact that the child is questioning means that they're learning. And that's one of the things that I really want to change in my parenting style.
I grew up in a house. I was the only boy in a house other than my dad. So I think having two sisters and being the middle child, it kind of really shaped me in being able to compromise and share and be open to different ideas. And so I'm like that with my daughter. I mean, she's picked up a lot of my quirky bad habits, which I feel really awful about, by the way, you know. So I just try to be there for her, and I don't sugarcoat things. I don't BS her. That kind of the joke is, and I learned that from my dad. You know, he was just a really straightforward guy. And like with the joke in our house is, my wife, she'll kind of mommy the answer, and I give her the like the BLCPod answer, like just this is just what it is, and this is straightforward, and we're gonna you know, you're gonna have to deal with it the way you can deal with it. And we have a really, really tight relationship. So just being present, being available, like my folks were.
Wow. No, like these are all great. I feel like I'm getting to know you guys for real. I mean, I guess I'm the newest parent. I feel like maybe I got a 4-year-old. So yeah. I think for me, I low-key felt like it started off with who I chose to have a kid with, if I'm gonna be honest, right? Like, and the fact that we waited so long, because I feel like it allowed us both to mature. I feel like a lot of maybe my parents had kids young, and so you grow up, y'all still trying to figure each other out or whatever. And I think just from the very beginning, I might have been intentional about having kids. I didn't want to have a kid too early because I was hustling. My dad was a hustler, so he wasn't really home a lot. He was outside. And so I didn't want to do that, you know what I'm saying, to the other kid, to my kid. So I kind of waited. That was part of my wait. And then now, you know, it's funny. I think I read somewhere where like, you know, these kids develop their inner voice. And I think for me, the one thing, my parents were not present enough, I think, to pour into me. So I think for me, I try to make sure that I pour into my son, almost to the point that it might even be problematic because I think he might just be on one. But just to be able to support him, provide a stable home where he knows he has two loving parents that not only love each other, but love him, and him seeing that, like, I think for me, all of that is how, like, I replay my experience to give him something that I don't think I really had, in hopes that it gives him the confidence to really take over the world. Because I always felt like, damn, if I'm this far with just what the fuck I got, if I just would have got a little bit more, I mean, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So my job is to give him as much more as he can get, so that way there's no limits to how far he can go.